Hello. Let's relax, immerse yourself in emotional stories, and explore the world of learning English through stories. Don't forget to press the sign up button and sound the alarm. Don't miss any new stories.
And then they're all floating around, all the ducks. I just woke up. I see rats everywhere. He barked happily and jumped in between them. I've been chasing rats ever since I was at Kansat. He found it harmless. But the woodsman grabbed the dog. Hold it in your hand and yell at the rats. Come back here, come back here. The ball won't hurt you. I hear that. The mouse lady picked her head out of the grass and asked timidly, Are you sure it won't bite us? I won't let him do that. The woodsman replied, So don't be afraid. Slowly, one by one, they crept back, and the bowl doesn't bark anymore. Try to wipe it from the hands of the woodsman. It came out and bit you. If you don't know what you're doing. Finally, one of the biggest mice spoke. What can we do? He asked in return for saving her life. Nothing, the woodsman replied. But the scarecrow is still trying to think. It was hard because his head was stuffed with straw. Oh yes, you can save our friend the cowardly lion, sleeping in the poppy field. It's a lion, cried the little queen. God, it's going to eat us all. Oh no, the scarecrow claims this lion is a cowardly lion. Really? The mouse asked her. He said so, replied the scarecrow, and he won't hurt our friends. If you help us save you, I promise the lion will be kind to everyone. Well, the queen said we believe you. But what do we do? Every mouse here calls her queen, and ready to obey you. There must be a few thousand. The mouse replied, Then you can summon the rats as quickly as you can. Each of them carries a long rope. The queen turned to the waiting mice. Tell them to go and call all their people. When these people finish listening to the order, they run away. Now the scarecrow tells the woodcutter, You have to go to the trees by the river to build a car to carry lions. So the woodsman immediately went out to the trees. Get your hands on work. Soon enough, I've made a car out of big tree branches. After the leaves and small branches are removed, you put them together with a little wood and take short pieces from a big tree to make for cakes. He worked so fast and so well. When the rats get there, the car is ready for them. Mice come from all directions. There's a few thousand mice, big mice. Mouse, Miss Medium Mouse, each with a long string in its mouth. Dorothy wakes up from a long sleep. Open your eyes. She was surprised to find herself lying on the grass. And thousands of mice around her are timidly watching her. The scarecrow tells you everything. And turned to the precious little mouse. He said, May I introduce you to the queen? Dorothy nodded solemnly. The queen saluted him in a friendly manner. Scarecrows and tin woodsmen start tying mice into cars. With 9 strings they carry, a wire wrapped around the mouse's neck, a connector to the car. Obviously, the car is bigger. Each mouse pulls it 1,000 times. But when all the rats are planted in the reins, they pull the car away easily. Both the scarecrow and the woodcutter sat there and built these weird little ponies Take the lion to the place where the lion is sleeping. After a very hard time because the lion is too heavy, they also managed to get you in the car. So the queen hurriedly ordered her subjects to depart, because she was afraid that if she stayed too long, they're also sleeping back out in the poppy field. At first, no matter how many, those little creatures are still hard to move. The car is heavy. But thanks to the woodsman and the scarecrows pushing further behind, they move more easily. They quickly took the lion out of the poppy field to the green grass. Where he is, I can breathe fresh air again, instead of the smell of the dead. Dorothy to them. Warmly thank you, Mouse Bullets. He saved her companion from death. You love lions now. Be glad you escaped. Then the rats were removed from the car, and the grass flew back home. The Mouse Queen was the last to leave. If you ever need me to tell you to call me in the field, we'll listen and help. Goodbye, they answered, and the Queen ran away. Dorothy has to hold the car tight. Keep it from running. It scares you. Then they sat down next to the lion and waited for him to wake up. Scarecrow to pick. Give Dorothy some flowers in a nearby tree. To make dinner. The gatekeeper. It took a long time for the lion to wake up, because you've been lying too long in the middle of the ocean, and stop pushing the deadly smell. Open your eyes and get out of the car. I am glad you are angry in the world. I tried to run. You said sit down and yawn. But these guys are strong. How did you get me out of there? So they told the lion, and the hamsters were kind enough to save you from death. The cowardly lion laughed and said, I always thought I was big and terrible. Now little things like flowers almost kill me. And little things like mice save my life. This whole thing is strange. But hey guys, what do we do now? We have to find the yellow brick road again, Drusy said, and then continued on to the Emerald City. And the lion woke up like a flute. They started walking. Happy, enjoy the journey on the fresh, soft grass. Soon reached the yellow brick road and changed direction towards the Emerald City 6BA. And the lion woke up like a flute. They started walking. Happy, enjoy the journey on the fresh, soft grass. Soon reached the yellow brick road and changed direction towards the Emerald City 6BA, the residence of the Witch Ox. The road is now smooth and tiled. Beautiful scenery all around, so the group was glad to have left. Behind it is a forest with many dangers. They face in the shadow of the overcast forest. Once again, they saw the fences on the side of the road, but painted blue 6. And when we get to a small house, it is the home of a farmer. They see it's also blue. That afternoon, they passed a few houses like that. Sometimes people run out the door. They seem to want to ask something, but no one comes close or speaks, because the big lion scared them too much. Everyone wears cute Jade 6 color clothes and wear caped hats like the Monday skin. This must be the land of Ox, Dorothy said, and we must be nearing the Emerald City. Yes, replied the Scarecrow. Everything here is green, while in Måneskin land, blue is my favorite color. But people here have not as friendly as the Monday skin. I'm afraid we won't find a place to spend the night. I want something to eat outside of the garden. She said she must be hungry by now. Let's stop at the next house and ask. So they walked to a pretty big farm. Dorothy stepped up and knocked on the door. A lady who opened the door just jokingly looked out and said, "What do you need, girl?" The big lion Ki was with her. "We'd like to spend the night with you if you'd like." Dorothy replied, "The lion is my companion. It'll never hurt you." "Has it been tamed?" The woman asked if the door was a little wider. "Yes," she replied. "And it's a very shy animal. So she's more afraid of you than she is of you." "Then," she said after a moment of thought and glanced at the lion again, "if so, you can go inside. I'll bring you some dinner and a place to fall back." So they walked into the house together. She lives with 2 children and a man. He's got leg pain on the couch in one corner. Everyone in the house was stunned. I saw a strange group of friends, and while the woman was busy clearing the table, he asked, "Where are you going?" "To the Emerald City 6BAO," Dorothy replied, "to meet the Great Witch Ox." "Oh really?" he exclaimed. "Are you sure you will be welcomed by Ox?" "Why not?" she replied. "They said he never let anyone meet him." "I've been to the Emerald City many times. It's a magical and beautiful place, but never met the Great Ox. I don't know if anyone has ever seen him." "He never went outside?" Sao asked the Scarecrow. "Never. Day after day, he sat in the hall. Even the servant. You can't look him in the face either." "What does he look like?" she asked. "It's hard to say." The man answered easily. "You see, Ox is a great wizard. You can take any shape you like. So some people say you're like a bird. Some say they look like elephants. Some say they look like cats. As for the others, he appeared as a beautiful fairy, or a blessing, or any shape you want. But who knows what Ox actually looks like?" "That's strange," Dorothy said. "But we have to try to meet Mr. Koo. Otherwise, this trip is too pointless." "Why do you want to meet the terrible OS Witch?" The man asked. "I'd like to ask you to give me the excited Scarecrow brain." "Oops can do that easily." The man claimed. "He's got more brains than he needs." "I ask you for a heart." The woodman said. It was not difficult for him. He continued. "The iOS has a large heart collection of all shapes and sizes. And I want to ask you to be brave," said the cowardly lion. "Ox has a big pot of courage in the hall itself." The man said, "And I have to get the plate. Cover them up so they don't spill out. I'll be happy to give you some." "I want him to take me back to the police." Dorothy said. "Where is the police?" the surprised man asked. "I don't know," Dorothy replied sadly. "But it's my home. It must be somewhere." "Probably. Well, Ox can do anything, so I'm sure you'll find the cancer for you. But first you have to meet him. It's hard. Ox witches don't like to meet AI. Usually you have one. I am a type. But what does this guy want?" He continued with me. "I'm just wagging my tail, and that's weird. It doesn't know how to talk." Right now, the woman told them that dinner was ready. So they're sitting around the table. And Dorothy took some porridge. Looks good with a plate of 8 eggs. a slice of fine white bread and a delicious meal. The lion is a little porridge, but it's not salty. You said porridge is made from oats, because oats are horse food, not a lion. The scarecrow and the woodcutter didn't eat anything. I do a little bit of everything, happy to have a delicious dinner. The woman now shows you the bed for the night, and bowl down next to you, while the lion guards the door of the room so the air doesn't bother. Scarecrow house. The woodsman stood quietly all night in the toad. It's clear they didn't sleep. The morning after the sun came up, they set off again, and soon saw a beautiful halo. Blue 6 in the sky ahead. That must be the Emerald City. When they get close, the blue light is becoming more and more brilliant. And it seems that we are also nearing the end of the journey. But you have to come in the afternoon, by the great wall that surrounds the city, high and thick walls covered in a bright blue 6. In front of them, and at the end of the yellow brick road, is a big one, filled with green jewels, shining in the sun, that dazzle the scarecrow's painted eyes. By the gate is the Dorothy bell. When you press the bell, you see it from the inside. Voice again the clear jingle. Then a large gate slowly opened. Everybody walks by. I found myself in the middle of a room with a roof. The same walls. It's also lit up by countless jewels. In front of them was a small man. Same size Monday skin. He's dressed entirely in blue, from foot to head. The skin is also dyed blue. Next to him is a big blue box. Seeing Droshi and his companions, the man spoke up. What do you want in the city of 6? We're here to see the great ox witch, Dorothy replied. The man was stunned by the answer. I had to sit down to think. I haven't seen her in years. Please see ox, he said, shaking his head in confusion. You are powerful and terrible, and if you're here for some stupid nonsense, to stir the wisdom of the great witch, you can have a fight and destroy it all in the blink of an eye. But it's not stupid and it's not idle. It's very important for us to know. Ox is a good witch. Good sir. Blue Man 6 says. And Sea Air rules this city wisely. But for those who are not sincere, or come to you just out of curiosity, you're terrible. Not many people dare to meet. I am the gatekeeper, and because you've asked for OS, so I'll take you to the palace. But first you have to put your glasses on. Why did Dorothy ask? Because if you don't put your glasses on, the light and splendor of the Emerald City 6, it will blind you. Even people who live in cities, you also have to wear glasses, day and night. The glasses are locked. Ukes ordered that, from the day the city was built. And we hold the only key that can open them. He opened the big box, and Dorothy saw that it was filled with all kinds of glasses. They all have blue eyes. The gate cutter found a pair, fits and wears for Dorothy. There's 2 gold-plated belts under the glass, round out the back of her head. There they're locked, with a little key on the outside. The key chain that the gatekeeper planted around his. If you wear glasses, Dorothy can't take them off, even if you want to. But of course, you don't want to be blind by the bright lights of the Emerald City. so don't say anything." Then the blue man wears glasses for the scarecrow. The woodsman's a lion and a small bowl. It's all locked up. Then the gatekeeper put on his glasses and told him he was ready to take them to the palace. Take down a big golden key. From the hook on the wall, he opened another door, and they followed him through the big gate to enter the streets of the city. NGUC 6BAO. The wonderful city of Ox. Your eyes are covered in blue glasses. Then at first, Dorothy and friends, still dazzled by the brilliance of the city. Magic. Beautiful streets and houses along the road. It's all marble. Green jelly and encrusted with sparkling jade. They walk on sidewalks that are also made of that marble. And the veins between the plates, pricked with green jewels, flashing under the bright sun. The windows are green. The sky above the city is blue. The sun's rays are dyed blue. There are many men. The young woman is walking around. They're all angry, blue clothes, blue skin. They're looking at Dorothy and her strange group of friends with eyes of wonder. The kids ran behind my back. When you see the lion, no one says they know them. There are many shops on the street, and Dorothy saw that everything in it was green. Green popcorn candy sold with green shoes. Blue hats and blue clothes of all kinds. At a corner, there's a man selling blue lemonade. And when the kids buy water, Dorothy can see they're paying in pennies. Blue. There don't seem to be any horses or animals here. And people carry things back and forth with these little blue strollers. And everyone seems satisfied. Satisfied and affluent. The gates led them through the streets to a big mansion in the middle of the city. It's the Palace of Ox, the Great Witch. A soldier at the door, wearing a blue uniform with a long green beard. These are the strangers associated with the gatekeeper telling him, "Please meet the Great OS." "Come in," the soldier replied. "I'll go with you." So they walked through the palace gates into a large room. There's a green carpet and beautiful blue furniture. The soldier said everyone wiped their feet on the green carpet before entering the room. And when they were seated, he politely said, "Please feel free. While I went to the main hall, let Ox know you're here." They had to wait a long time for the soldier to return. When he finally returned, Dorothy asked, "Have you seen Emma and Ox?" The soldier replied, "I've never seen you, but I spoke to you through the screen. And I've delivered your message. He said he'll take you if you want. But everyone must come to see you alone. You only see one person every day. So you're going to have to stay in the palace for a few meals. I'll show you the room. Let everyone rest after the journey." "Thank you," Doshi replied. "Mr. Ox is very kind." The soldier blew the green whistle. And immediately, a young girl in a graceful blue silk dress walked into the room. She has beautiful blue hair and blue eyes. She bowed her head in front of Dorothy's mouth, said, "Please follow me and I'll take you to the room." So Dorothy says goodbye to all of you except the bowl. And hold the dog in your arms. She follows the green girl through 7 corridors. Climb up to 3 floors to the room in the front of the palace. It's the sweetest little room in the world. There is a comfortable bed, green highway and towels, green velvet bed decoration. There's a little fountain under the room. From there, a little fragrant green water sprayed into the air, and then fall down again, a beautifully carved blue marble pot. The beautiful green flowers by the window. There's a bookshelf with blue glasses. When Dorothy had time to turn those books over, she found them full of strange blue pictures. They make you laugh because they're funny. There are many blue silk dresses in the military closet. Satin and velvet all fit the Dorothy. Invite you to feel at home. She said, if you need anything, ring the bell. The ox will see you tomorrow morning. The girl left Lucy alone. Then go back to the others. Take them to other rooms. Everyone finds themselves lost in a corner. It is very pleasant of the palace. Of course, this thoughtfulness is wasted on you, Scarecrow, because when you're alone in the room, you just stand there foolishly by the door to wait for the morning. Lying down doesn't make you relax. Baby can't close his eyes, so I spent the night staring at a little spider. It's in the corner of the room. As if not. You are here, one of the most beautiful rooms in the world. The woodcutter goes to bed as usual. It has been kept since, in the flesh. But because I can't sleep, so you kill me now by lifting me up. Lower down joints for smooth TRU. Cowardly lions prefer a bed of dry leaves in the forest. I don't like being locked in a room. But you understand very well, so don't bother too much about that. You jump on the bed and curl up like a cat. And in a moment, it's good to sleep. The next morning after breakfast, Blue Girl to pick up Dorothy and help her wear one of the nicest long dresses, with satin blue, according to Kim Linya. Doshi wearing a green pomegranate bib, tie a blue bow around the neck, and start going to the Great Ox Witch's War. First, they walked into a large hall, where the courtiers are standing. They are all rich and angry. These people do nothing else, apart from talking to each other. But every morning, we wait outside the main hall. I never met Ox. When Dorothy walked in, they looked at her curiously and one of them whispered, "You're about to see a horrible ox face." "Of course," she said, "if you'll meet me." "Oh, you will continue," the soldier who carried her message to the witch said. "Even if you don't like to meet someone." In fact, at first, he was very angry and told me to send you away. Then he asked her what she looked like. "And when I mentioned your silver shoes, you seem very interested." Finally, when I told him about the mark you wear on your forehead, he has approved your presence. Right then the bell rings, and the green girl told Droshi, "It's a signal that you have to go into the main city alone." She opened the small door. Dorothy boldly entered. I find myself in the middle of a wonderful place. It's a large, circular room with a soaring roof. The ceiling and floor are covered in jewels. Lie close together. In the middle of the ceiling is a big light, as bright as the sun. Make the gem of light on a magical strip. But do Dorothy the most attention. It's a solid blue marble right there. In the middle of the room, it's a chair, and glistening for gems like everything else. In the middle of the chair is a large head. There is no body and no legs. The head has no hair, but have eyes, nose and mouth, and several times the size of a giant's head. The biggest. While Dorothy was stunned and terrified. Slowly look at it. His eyes slowly turned to stare at her. Don't stop the mouth moving. And Dorothy heard a voice say, I am Ox the Great and Beautiful Witch. Who are you looking for? The voice is not terrible, as you wait to hear from your big head. So she plucked up the courage to respond. I am a small and humble Dorothy. I've come to ask for your help. Eyes look at you. Thought for a moment and the voice went on. Where did you get the silver shoes? It's the evil witch of the East. When my house is supposed to be dead. She replied. How did you get that mark on your forehead? The voice continued. That's where the good witch of the North kissed me goodbye. Let me find you, she said. Once again, the eyes looked at her. And they see that you're telling the truth. So Otis asked, what do you want me to do for you? Let me go back to the fray, where there are sisters about my Lord Henry. She answered earnestly. I don't like your kingdom, although it's incredibly beautiful. And I'm sure you're worried, because I've been away so long. The big eyes blink 3 times. Then they look up at the ceiling, down on the floor and swirl around the singularity. It's like looking at every corner of the room. They finally look Dorothy. Why do we have to do that? Asked Miss. You are strong and I am weak. Because you're a great witch and I'm just a little girl. But you're strong enough to kill the evil witch of the East. Otis says it comes by itself. Dorothy simply replied, I can't do anything. Okay, the head says. I'll give you the answer. You have no right to expect me to bring back cans, unless you do something for me. In this kingdom, people pay for what they get. If you want me to use my magic to take you home, what do you have to do for me first? Help me and I will help you. What should I do? She asked. Kill the wicked witch of the West. Ox answered, but I couldn't. Dorothy cried out in shock. You killed the evil witch of the East, and she's wearing silver shoes that have a great magic. Now, there's only one evil witch left in this country. And when can you tell me she's dead? I'll take you to the police. Not before that. Dorothy started crying. You are 2-7. And K.I.'s eyes flickered again as she watched with fever. Like a witch. The great Ox felt you could help him. If you want. I've never killed anyone willingly. She sobs, and even when I want to go. Why did I kill the evil witch? If the great and terrible wizard. It can't be itself. If I can kill, I hope I can do that. I don't know what the head says. But that's my answer. And you'll never see me again. For as long as the evil witch is not dead. Remember that. This witch is evil and needs to be destroyed. Let's go now. Please don't see me again. Until you finish your mission. Dorothy sadly left the main hall, back where the scarecrow lion and the woodsmen are eagerly waiting to know. What did Ox say to you? There's no hope for me, she said sadly. The Ios won't be able to help me get home until you've killed the evil witch of the West. Something I could never do. Your friends are afraid, but there's nothing you can do to help you. So she went to her room and went to bed crying alone. Until I fall asleep. The next morning, the greengrocer came to me and said, "Come with me and listen to ox coo." So I looked, followed him, and get into the main hall. There you see me sitting on the throne of 6 jewels. She's a very popular lady, beautiful. She's wearing blue silk. Installed on the silky blue hair, it's a crown jewel mosaic. On both sides of her shoulders are wings. Splendid colors, and so light that only a very gentle breeze touched. It also makes them stutter. When the scarecrow bowed to that beautiful creature, in a most graceful way that his stuffed straw body allows, she looked at him gently and said, "I am the great and terrible Ox Witch. Who are you looking for?" I thought I'd see the head Dorothy told me about. ABU looked stunned. But I had the courage to respond. I'm just a scarecrow stuffed with straw, so I don't have a brain. And I've come to ask you to put a little brain in my head, instead of straw, so I can be one, like everyone in your kingdom. Why do we have to do that for you? She asked because she was wise and powerful. No one in the world can help me. The scarecrow replied, "I never do you no feathers," Ois said. "But I can promise you this. If you kill me, give me an evil witch of the west. I'll give you more brains. And with such a good brain, you'll be the wisest man in the Ox." "I thought you told Dorothy to kill that witch," the scarecrow said in surprise. "I don't care who killed her. But she's not dead. I haven't given you my wish. Let's go now. And don't come to see me again, as long as you prove worthy of the brain that I've been waiting for." The blind man looked sad. "Tell you what Ox said." Dorothy is amazed that Ox is not the head. As you saw, it's a charming lady. "It's the same," Scarecrow says. "She needs a heart like a woodcutter." The next morning, two greengrocers went to the woodsman and said, "Boss Ko asked to see you follow me." So the engineer followed him to occupy the great power. He didn't know he was going to see Ois is a charming lady or a head. "I hope to be a lady," because the guy knows. If we had a head, we wouldn't have a heart. Because the head itself has no Tim. You can't sympathize with me. But if you're a charming lady, then we will rise for the way. Because they tell you all. They are all people with a good heart. But when you walk into the hall, the forest cannot be seen. And ladies, because Ox was dressed as an animal. It's almost as big as an elephant. The blue throne, it seems difficult to bear its weight. The animal with the rhinoceros head. There are 5 eyes on the face. From its body grew 5 long arms, the same 5 long slender legs. It's a thick, voluminous fur that covers its entire body. Life, I can't imagine a monster more terrifying. Fortunately, the woodsman doesn't have Tim. If not, it's going to explode in terror. It's just a device, so he's not afraid of anything. There are 7 hopes. I am the great and terrible witch Ois. The animal's voice seemed to roar. Who are you looking for? I'm a woodworker made of tin. So I don't have Tim and I can't love. I ask you to give me a heart, so I can be like other men. Why should I give you the beast? Because I prayed, and only you can give me that wish. Ox said softly when he heard this, but then grudgingly replied, If you want a heart, you have to take it. How to? The woodman asks Dorothy to kill the wicked witch of the west. The beast replied when the witch was dead, Come to me, and I will give you the greatest heart. Best and most passionate love in the whole Ox country. And so the woodsman was forced to mourn. Tell them about the terrible beast. That I see. They all amazed before the forms of the great wizard. The lion said, If he's an animal when he sees me, I'll shout out, Let him die. That's according to what I want. And if he's a charming lady, I'm going to rush into her now and force her to do my bidding. And if he's a big head, that's lucky, because I'm going to roll my head around the room until he has to promise us what we want. So have fun, guys, because everything will go there. The next morning, the green-bearded soldier led the lion to the great palace. Let him go see Ox. The lion immediately walked through the door. Glancing around the room, I was surprised to see the throne. It's a fireball, bright and dazzling charm. It's so hard for him to keep his eyes fixed. Your first thought is Ox has unfortunately caught fire and is on fire. When you try to get close, the heat becomes so intense that it's almost caramel. So you're shivering somewhere near the door. Then a low current from the fireball came out. And these are his words. I am the great and terrible witch Os. Who are you looking for? The lion replied, I'm a cowardly lion. I am afraid of everything. Please give me courage. Let me be the true lord of the mountain, as they call it. Why should I give you courage? Os asked because you are the greatest witch. In all the witches, only you are powerful enough. Make my wish come true. The lion replied. The fireball burned for a moment and the voice continued. Show me that the evil witch is dead. Then I will give you courage. As long as she's alive, you're a coward. These words made the lion angry. But you can't land. And while staring blankly at the sphere, it burned so badly that he hung up his tail. Run out of the room. Happy to see. When you see me again, you're waiting. And tell they heard a horrible conversation with the wizard. What do we do now? Norrisy asked sadly. There's only one thing we can do. The lion replied. Go to the land of the Winkir. Find the evil witch to destroy her. But if we can't do it, she said, then I'll never have the courage. The lion claimed. And I'll never have the wisdom, you see. I'll never have a heart. And I'll never see your aunt and Uncle Henry again. Dorothy said and started crying. Be careful, cried the green girl. The tears that fell dirty her tissue. So Dorothy wiped her tears and said, I think we should try. But I certainly don't want to kill an AI, even to get back to your sisters. I'll go with you, but I'm too shy. You can't kill a witch. The lion said I'm a scarecrow too. But it won't help much because I'm stupid. I don't have the heart to hurt an AI, not even a witch. The woodman said,
But if you go, I'll get to know you.
So everyone decided to leave the next morning. The woodsman sharpened his axe on a green grindstone.
Full oil bottle for joints. The scarecrow is stuffing himself with new straw.
Dory painted his eyes for me to see better.
Blue girl, who was very kind to them.
It's full. Basket of Dorothy full of delicious food.
And tied a little bell around the neck of the car, in blue ribbon. Then they went to bed early and slept until dawn.
Until the crowing of the blue rooster.
Still living in the castle's backyard.
And the clickering of the hen.
It's a green egg that wakes you up.
Find the evil witch. The green-bearded soldier led them through the city streets. NGOC 6 Biao to the room with the gatekeeper. Yang Kuang removed the glasses, put it back in his big box,
then politely opened the gate for you.
Which way to the Witch of the West? Dershi asked no way. The gatekeeper replied that no one ever wanted to go that way.
How did you find her? She asked.
It's easy, the man replied. Because when she found out she was on Winky Land,
I will find you to enslave you.
The story probably won't be like that. He looked at her because we were coming to destroy her.
Oh, that's another story.
The gates say Noea has ever killed her. So, of course, I think
she'll make you slaves like everyone else. But be careful because she's cruel and cruel.
She probably won't let you kill her. Let's go west where the sun goes down.
You will find her.
They thanked him and said goodbye and headed west. Walking on the soft meadows.
That's the point. The chrysanthemum with the yellow backed mayo. Dorothy still wears a pretty silk sole.
Since I was in the castle.
But now she's surprised it's not green,
but white. The series of eyes around the neck is also out of green, but eye is as white as Dotoshi's paper. Jewel City 6 said to quickly back up. The more they moved forward, the ground became more and more rugged and undulating. Because the west is empty. Both fields and houses. The land is abandoned. In the afternoon, the sun was burning hot on their faces.
Because the trees don't give shade.
So the night is not over.
That Dorothy told her the lion was tired.
They rolled out the sleeping grass immediately, while the woodsman and the scarecrow stand guard. The evil witch of the west had only one eye.
But that eye is as formidable as a wide open ocean glass.
You can look everywhere. Sitting at the castle door, she looked around and saw Drosy sleeping. And you're all around. They're far away.
But the evil witch was furious. When you see them in your territory.
Molin blew on the silver whistle around his neck.
Immediately, a large pack of wolves ran out from all directions. Their legs are long and their eyes are burning, and sharp teeth.
Go to the kids, the witch said, and tear them apart.
So you're not going to make them slaves?
The wolf asked if she answered.
One of teen, one of straw. One is the lion and the other is the lion.
None of them are capable of working.
So you just tear them apart.
Very well, the wolf replied, and ran at full speed. The others follow. So lucky that the scarecrow with the woodsman is awake. I can hear the wolves coming. This battle let me. The forest said,
You hide behind me so I can welcome them. I took the axe that sharpened Ari's earth.
and when the first wolf comes, the woodsman swung his axe and cut off his head. Make it die immediately.
Goodbye. See you next time. Wishing you a day full of health and success.